Hello, and we say a fantastic day to you. We are the Palladian Council, and we thank you for allowing this interaction to take place. Happy to be of assistance to you at this time.
I wanted to ask something about unexpectedness. And the reason is a situation that cropped up. I've come to Paris, and as I approached the doorstep of my Airbnb, it was cancelled. It was cancelled strangely. It's a very unexpected situation. But the thing is, before that, I had some indications. I had some problems with my ticket working and other things where I had instincts that this was just not going to work out. And so I felt strangely calm when this particular Airbnb cancelled. And there I was in the street not knowing what to do, but I felt very calm. So I wanted to talk about this unexpectedness. Um, so first of all, this situation that arrived in particular for me, I looked on it as you do, that everything is for the best, whereas humans would normally tend to be very angry and annoyed, and this is not right. I viewed this must be the best, and very quickly I formed the idea that I was possibly in some danger or great discomfort if I had continued into this particular Airbnb. Can you comment on this?
Intuition kicks in to let you know when something that you're expecting isn't going to be exactly what you thought it was going to be. Sometimes this appears as those little glitches that you have experienced along the way. Certain things don't go quite right. Sometimes you might be expecting things to go a certain way with a person, but you find that they start to act out in certain ways or reveal parts of themselves that you didn't see before, as a way of letting you know that they are going to disappoint you. And yes, unexpected events can be used in a positive way. One use of the unexpected is to recognize that perhaps you might have been avoiding more trouble by bringing yourself onto a better path. And often this happens when you are really acting intuitively and your frequency remains high, that something that wasn't really aligned for you falls away to redirect you to a path that is better. And the key is not having insistence on particular expectations. Knowing that sometimes the universe has something better for you, you remain open to those crossroads, bringing you somewhere better, somewhere more supportive for you. And this allows you to be fully open for when you insist upon where you thought you were going, you often miss more opportunities than if, if you stay open.
I am a bit curious. In this particular case that occurred for me, my first reaction was to actually imagine that I was avoiding either a very uncomfortable or even a dangerous situation. Um, what was there something in the timeline that you can see where it was dangerous or uncomfortable for me?
Uncomfortable, yes, not necessarily dangerous. Uncomfortable in a way that would have disrupted your experience, yes. And also, it actually opened up a better timeline for your entire stay.
And so it really turned out well in a way I hadn't imagined.
It was all designed so that you would have that experience. You were drawn unconsciously, yet intuitively, to an option that wouldn't work out so that this experience would transpire the way it did.
And it's unexpected, unexpected. Mostly we get angry. And I didn't because of your guidance. You say, whatever happens, we think is for the best. But mostly it's like a matter of human pride to be angry, to make the fuss, to enter that state. I didn't want to go there.
Because you recognize it doesn't serve. It recognizes that it only lowers your vibration and keeps you away from possibilities of things working out better, which they did because you stayed open.
Yes. It reminds me of the situation I had on the 1st of January of this year. My welcome to 2025 was I fell over and it was quite a scary injury. But I did recover quickly because I applied again your philosophy that everything's for the best. This must be for the best. I must, as I thought, first of all, I must be avoiding something terrible.
Well, specifically, what we say is everything can be used in a positive way. And when you use it in a positive way, you get a positive result. Everything happens for the best doesn't put the power in your hands. It assumes that there's already a good reason for it rather than allowing you to create a good reason for it.
Yes,
So that subtle difference is the key in helping people get this, and also making sure that you don't blind yourself in the process.
yes. So just looking at the elements here from a human's perspective, are barriers to assuming there's a good thing. First of all, this is the idea of anger. I'm going to make somebody else pay for it. The second thing is this kind of, oh, things go wrong kind of idea. This idea that things go wrong. And I get that particularly. I talk to people, they say, oh, I'm older. It's difficult now. And I think that's no way to think. You mustn't think like that. It doesn't help.
That's correct.
So I'm saying that as humans, we have these two habits in particular of insistence. And then unexpectedness leads us into a bad situation for ourselves, which we can avoid.
And we call this the law of neutrality, that all experiences are inherently neutral until you apply meaning to them. And when you apply meaning to an experience, you have the power to either turn that experience into something positive or into something negative. That allows you to use the unexpected as an unexpected catalyst for growth rather than an unexpected obstacle in your path that hinders you. Nothing is really hindering you. Your own attitude hinders you. The meaning that you apply can catalyze great growth, or it can hold you back and put you in a cage. But you have to realize that there's nothing outside of you that puts you in a cage or makes you grow. It's your own choice to create meaning.
Exactly. Exactly. So I have in this year, this seems to be a big lesson for me personally. I was amazed how the whole of Paris transformed for me in this incident, because before this happened, as I said, I was getting instincts. It was just too crowded, too busy. Which way do I go here in this, Chateau Les Halles underground? It's very confusing, for example. And as soon as it happened, I felt calm, and I took the bus instead of the metro, and there were local people, and it felt like a different city. It felt so calm and welcoming. And I was astonished how my interpretation changed.
Absolutely. Because when you create a positive meaning, your frequency resonates with those who are also choosing positive energy.
Yes.
You become drawn to them and they become drawn to you.
Yes, to the extent that I get on a bus and the people around me seem calm and local, whereas before they had seemed pushy and hassled and upset on the metro.
Yes.
It's quite a transformation for me, and I do think that most people are a little bit addicted to being upset and blaming and saying, well, there was nothing I could do about that.
It's a habit. Any habit can be addictive. It's simply that the nature of a habit is to bear repeating. And why this habit becomes so enticing and captures people is because when you put all of your true responsibility on others, then you don't have to change and you don't have to take life by the reins, you could say. And when you recognize that you have the power to create within you at all times, and you are the one holding yourself back, and you are the one setting yourself free, the choice becomes obvious. Yet many people fear the sense of responsibility. So many people have simply done whatever it is it seemed as if others were telling them to do. And they keep doing this because it feels like less pressure. But actually, there's more pressure of stress and internalized expectations when you do this. Instead, when you recognize that you have the power to create your own experience in the way that you prefer, that pressure loosens. But you have to do it first in order to realize that it's true. Bit by bit, as you take your power back and you use your own mind to create positive meaning and positive beliefs, you will see that that path serves you far more.
Yes, I find it quite extreme to not do what is expected. I find it really is a very almost lonely and brave choice to not be angry, to not do the typical "oh my God" thing, but to do how exciting. I mean, to do that.
Yes, though there are others choosing it, but there's fewer of them. The truth, though, is that there is a stronger unity between people who are choosing to be free than there is among unity in those who choose the consensus. Because those who choose freedom are far more diverse, have so many different life paths and experiences. Those who choose the consensus reality have a much more narrow window that they have to conform to. And this holds them back in the end.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It was really extreme when I was injured and in hospital and having stitches, and I found that, I needed to stay positive about that to the point that I can't actually inform people. That I waited till the morning before I told my family, because I didn't want them just to spend a night worrying. And it was liberating to do that, and it helped my healing. As you've said before, my healing was more rapid because of this approach that I had. But even now, and I mentioned it a few days ago, kind of the 1st of January, this thing happened and I fell over and was in hospital, and this sense of shock of people think, oh my God. And I think I can't tell people without them doing that. I'm not doing it to have them have that reaction. I'm doing that to then get on and say, yes, but I transformed that and healed fast and took it as something that I can interpret.
It was wise to not tell them right away because that gave you time to fully adopt your position and fully become unshakable in your own definition of that event. And that's wise because if you feel uncertain and you're not committed to turning it into something positive and you share it with people who would enhance or reflect to you negativity, that might prevent you from staying aligned to the positive. And in this way, it's important to recognize who really supports you in creating your own preferred life path and reality. Those who have anchored this understanding and this idea of using experiences in a positive way, no matter what, will be great allies for you. And still, sometimes you can help other people break free from their commitment to negativity by being an example of how to use something in a positive way, even if that experience itself was not inherently positive.
That's great. Yes. Well, thanks very much for your words on the unexpected and the law of neutrality. Have you any final comment to say?
That will be all for now, but we will be happy to explore this much deeper at another time.